Good morning. Happy first Ramblin while Amblin of 2019. It's kind of weird. Maybe not all of you know it, but Damon Thief D-Cup Jones was a jailer for most of his law enforcement career. He was a police chief for like 6 months before he got fired, and then he sued, and then as a settlement they allowed him to honorably retire. But a lot of his time was spent sleeping on the job as a jailer. We know that our friend Texas Sheepdog 72, aka Jack Shit, aka Huckleberry, was a jailer. He'll tell you he was on patrol, but it doesn't seem like anybody in that neck of the woods believes it. So he may have been on patrol at some point in time, but it wasn't for long. It wasn't often. It wasn't well known. Can't find anybody willing to stick their neck out to say that you were actually a patrol deputy. I had one guy tell me that you got to drive the perimeter of the jail from time to time, but that doesn't count as patrol. Anyway, my point is he was a jailer. Now I got News Now Library, aka News Now OKC, aka the dipshit who likes to film books instead of read them. He is now saying that he was law enforcement. That's his claim. T-Cole is closed for the holidays, so I haven't heard anything back from them. But he says that he was in the juvenile detention unit now. So yeah, he was a jailer. Crazy. Does anybody see a pattern here? Does anybody see a pattern here? Misinformed, pompous assholes who used to be jailers coming into this community and trying to be pompous, arrogant, know-nothing dickheads. Oh, and by the way, everybody, you should be all impressed that they were law enforcement in this community. You should be impressed because they were law enforcement in this community. Just in case you guys missed that, for one last shot, you should be impressed that they were law enforcement in this community and they were jailers. Now, I know that D-Cup is going to say that he was all sorts of other things, but in reality, if you look at his career, he was a jailer. Wow, you guys just did a great job of getting wrapped up. So we're going to pull you. No, you're not moving. Not going anywhere yet. Just relax. This is where we, come on, dude. Oh, you gotta stick. Okay. Almost done. Almost unwrapped. Don't walk away from me yet. There we go. All right. It's hard to do with one hand and two uncooperative dogs. Anyway. Just be careful who your sources are. For those of you who were just, everybody knows that people are abused in jail, as if every person who goes to jail is abused and every jailer is an abuser, and as if you had some sort of statistic to back that up. Just remember that these three guys who, I know D-Cup doesn't get a lot of play in the community anymore, rightfully so, but Jack still seems to have some play in the community for whatever reason. And News Now Library, I think most people laugh at him, but he's still getting apparently a lot of support. But just remember that these guys were the jailers. These guys, with their arrogant asshole ways, now out of the jail, imagine, if you will, how they were in the jail. If you had a child who got in trouble with the law, would you want News Now Library to be that child's jailer? Would you want Jack, arrogant, conceited, know-nothing, Jack, who likes to yell at cops and tell them to make his day and that he's packing a gun, would you like him to be your jailer? D-Cup would probably be about the best jailer ever, because that motherfucker would be asleep after eating too many Twinkies and passing out from his sugar coma diabetes. Just think about that. Oh, you're being so hateful. Yeah, okay, whatever. I mean, you guys, why don't you try to be internally consistent for just half a second? My problem with these guys is they're full of shit. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but they're stomping their feet telling you that they are an authority because they used to be in law enforcement, and they're fucking wrong. And you're like, well, these guys were awesome. They were in law enforcement, but law enforcement officers suck. Jailers abuse the people in jail. But these guys are my heroes. They saw the light. They saw the light. They came out, and now they're against all the abuses of the system. No. D-Cup can't keep a fucking job in law enforcement. Cannot keep a fucking job in law enforcement. He is ill-suited to the task. Jack, he doesn't get a lot of love from the Bexar and Travis County deputies, but apparently he did have a medical retirement. He quit. He was not fired. So, yeah. But for that accident, would he still be a jailer? Would he have had a change of the ways? If he didn't have his brain damage, would he still think that all the police are pigs and that all the police are racist? Hey, Jack, you used to be a cop, huh? Huh? All cops are racist, Jack? And you used to be a cop, huh? What's that about, Jack? Happy New Year, Jack. Are you a racist? Funniest thing ever was when a Hispanic officer was detaining Southside Slacker, who happens to be Hispanic. Jack called it racist. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? It could be the gang tats. Oh, those aren't gang tats. Well, they look like gang tats. I mean, come on. Excuse me while I stop to inspect every single tattoo to make sure these aren't gang tats of a guy who's walking down the street with an AR-10. I was strongly corrected that it was an AR-10, not an AR-15, because it fires a .223 round. So, my bad on that. Anyway. But back to the jail thing. Not everybody who goes to jail is abused. And you're relying on everybody knows bullshit again. Show me statistics. Because I've worked in rough jobs with rough men. Men who have criminal records. Men who've done time. I've worked with a lot of men who've done time. And nobody likes jail. I understand that, and it sucks. But you don't hear about people getting abused. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, you remember Padilla's complaints? The sandwiches weren't good. The sink didn't look like it had been cleaned thoroughly enough. They say that he didn't have a bed, but who knows? They eventually got him to a place with a bed. Maybe in their initial holding tank, you don't get a bed, you just get a bench. Because it's for short term, I don't know. But it wasn't in there long, and they rectified the situation. But yeah, I mean, come on, is that really abuse? Is that beating someone with a nightstick? Is that shoving a plunger up their ass? Is it just randomly tasing them? Do those things happen? Yes. Now, you listen to the words that come out of my mouth. Do abuses happen? Yes. We've seen them happen. But is it common? Is it probable that somebody's going to have abuse done on them? I've already agreed it is possible, but it is a low possibility. It's not very common. And we know this because the statistics don't speak to it. private prisons would go out of business in a heartbeat if all of these jailhouse lawyers, if all of their complaints were found to be true in court. Just because they make the claim doesn't mean it actually happened. States would have a hell of a time with insurance, with payouts to prisoners, if it was as bad as you guys are thinking it is. The facts don't bear out your conclusions. So get better facts. You coming in here to my comment section saying everybody knows doesn't mean anything. That's a skunk. See it running across the street there? Run, little skunk. Oh, that's stinky. He let a little go. Oh, Patty likes the smell. There he goes, back in the backyard. Oh, skunks. Anyway, that's about all I got for you today. Just remember, somebody makes a claim, ask for proof, ask for verification. If they can't provide it to you, or if they tell you that somebody told them, then that's probably not proof. Thanks for watching. Have a happy new year. Take care.